أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. حياكم الله وكل عام وأنتم بخير. اليوم 28 من محرم 1447 هجري، والموافق تقريبا 24 إن شاء الله من 7 2025 ميلادي. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. Allah Ta'ala grant your father and mother, your children, and peace, salam, to be with us, salam. It is going to be the 29th this evening, so 28th today, coming to the end. It is a fasting day in our lifestyle. In the sama, in the Jannah, in where the universal conscious rests, it is a natural order that when it comes to the end of the fifth cycle, going into the sixth cycle, which is Jumu'ah, okay, so you have to come to alignment in terms of getting into your pure zone again, okay? As conscious, we're speaking conscious here, people. We're not speaking where we are currently caught up in the illusion of the Jahannam where most of us are residing, okay? We have set the bar for our generation because what has happened this year, we have sold our souls in the process, okay? In general, we lost. We went and found a God in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, in Lebanon, in Palestine. We forgot that our mothers had our own gods. Okay, we know God before we found another nation. That's why we still need foreign aid, because we are not finding a God in ourselves because of our underprivileged education and religions that we were invaded with. Okay. So most of us, unfortunately, as you all know by now, you have been substituted as a civilization in 2020 at Corona. You were unable to remember your purpose, your cause, why you came, and to retain our blueprint. Okay. It has given you 6 cycles, and the 6th cycle was 1446. 1447 is the seal where your civilization gets completely illusionized. You become fictionalized. Okay, with the Crypto Genius Act now, all your money becomes digital, propelled. All right. So basically, whatever you've worked for all your life is now going to be digitalized. Okay, whatever funds, whatever digital monies that you have accumulated and that you have hoarded over the last 100 years is now going to be liquidized into digital assets. Okay, tokenization will take place. Decentralization has already happened. The blockchain is already taking its course. So now currently, as you all know, you don't know where you stand in a civilization. We are sitting with partners to Allah. We have committed shirk. We are, wallahi thumma wallahi, we are mushrikun. We eat riba. We give our children the understanding that it's okay to earn good money. It is all riba out there, people. You have come to the end of an age. You have failed to understand the cosmic cycles of the Muharram transitions. You followed blindly. You made halal which Allah had made haram, and haram. We all, not just you and I, all of us. Okay, the entire planet. It's not. We must come to terms with the fact that we created religions. We created false gods. All religions are equally as unstable as what they are fighting each other. The God of your enemy is your devil that you worship today. So the illusion was real. Your understanding of coming into this dimension was a trial. It was a fitna. Okay? وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. It was in order to see how deep in the spell and in the illusion we would become. And mashallah, we saw our fathers and our mothers lose their natural purpose, lose their blueprint, lose their organic, spiritual selves, and they sold their ruh to the devil. Okay? Your grandmothers knows it. Most of our grandmothers knows that their children sold their ruh to the devils. We're not speaking here about Muslims only, people. We're speaking about every damn religion that came and fraudulently misrepresented the word of Allah, okay? And gave us and gave you and gave me a false identity. That's why we need a digital identity now, because our old identity is now a fictional reality. And so too our monies, our fiat currency is no longer real. Whatever your opa grootjie and your opa en sy gewerk het voor, it's now no value because it will have to be encrypted. Okay? So all that riba, that illusions, and with the illusional riba gods that you brought in your homes, in your diets, in your mosques, in your churches, it's all invalid, but you cannot come to terms with the fact that you cannot expel yourself out of that curse because of your deep sunken and my deep sunken philosophy that we must still get to heaven or still get into Jahannam or Jannah. Well, your God, the heavens, has equated what is the Jahannam at the moment, and that is where we are currently heading to be ostracized in. We will be mutilated in this civilization when Safar comes. Okay? Muharram, Safar. Hulle het altyd vir julle gesê, pasop as die maand van Safar kom. Okay? Nou, Safar is die maand as sy nie jou paspoort het nou nie. En sy het nie gegaan en getap into die portal waar jy weet wie jy is nie. Where you know your blueprint. Where you tap into your tapestry, into your chemistry, into your treasure, into what you had been given by the heavens to come and do in this time, because you had to change the chapter, you had to swap the course, you had to change the character, you had to find the new you that came into this earth. Okay? Since Corona, okay, you must understand, you lost the plot. You went and made a fool of Allah, and in the same time, you had sold your children short. Okay, you have to go back to your cultural integrity here. You have to disconnect from the fiat currency, from the political drama, from the secularism, from the religions, from the other worlds. You have to find who you are here, guys. Your God must have made the biggest mistake to have you born in this earth, give you different God to your neighbor, give you a different color to your opposition, and give you less money to your adversary. Okay? Had you understood the Quran not as a ritual book, but as a cosmic natural order that dictates the events as it unfolds in your cosmic transitions and transformations, you grow in this spiral. You don't remain with your professorship or your doctorship. They are all now sinking. The boat is sinking. It went up and now it's going down. And because they are holding on to fictional truths and into riba monies and riba gods, okay, we are suffocating in this disapproved lifestyle. Okay, so let's go to the next stage. Now, what has happened in the process is that your frequency was released into a cosmic timeline as a past civilization. Right? We are speaking with all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission, and we're speaking to you, to the next generations and the next 250 years of our soul tribes, people. We are not here to help put out the flames of Jahannam. Those who are supposed to be in hell must remain in hell. That's not my work. That's not my understanding of how this process is cosmologically formatted. Okay. Um, this is how, if you are asleep, if you fall asleep in the bioscope and you started believing in the movie and falling in love with the actors and falling in love with the brands and falling in love with the richness, if you had not shielded yourself from that kind of blue rays, then unfortunately, people, that is just now how you have to deal with your own, because each one is on his own here. Okay. Niemand is hier vir niemand nie. Whatever iemand kan kry van jou is net wat hy hier is voor. Even if it is your mother, even if it's your father, even if your children, Amal is here for the self, because each one has a chapter that he has to complete, an episode. Just he has to find out exactly when he is given his opportunity to prove himself. If he's the mufti, man, okay, as Jaino the mufti is, and now then Jaino, okay, I'm going to now be the representative of Allah on this earth. Nou kom maar 'n klein fitnatjie na jou toe om te sê, kyk hierso, maak al die kerke en maak al die synagogues toe. En dan sê okay, nou sê Allah, ek kan nou lekker die fatwa pas, ek maak sommer alles toe. Maak Allah sommer vir hom ook toe. Okay? You guys are not following the game. Your game is on the soccer. You know, your intoxications was poured out into a religion. The official religion of Jahannam is soccer. It is intoxication. Soccer means in Arabic sakar, yani sukara. Okay, intoxication. So you're following the ball yani, on the ground because you cannot follow the ball above, because you believe you come from below to the above, not from the above to the below. You don't believe that everything happens above before it happens and manifests in the below, because you have been we have been dinosaurs into a reality, and now that we are in that planet, now we live in different islands, in different planets. How much you have read your Mills and Boons and your cartoons and all of these things, that is what shaped your reality, and how serious you were about secularism and about your job. Wallahi thumma wallahi, no facts since COVID remains. It's only now artificial intelligence that is going to sustain your artificial beliefs and your artificial gods and your artificial ways of life. You're not going to connect to reality, to the fitra, to the blueprint. Okay, you had to jump that boat, guys. You had to book yourself a new ticket, and you had to uncover your blueprint. Okay, it's all in your DNA. It's not in religion. Beware, you are busy with shirk. You are busy with the greatest of idolatry, yani, and your children are telling you this today. Okay, so failure to have spoken up all the years, yani, is what your children had to now, yani, take the beating. We had to take the beating. There's nothing you as a Muslim family, as a Muslim community, had really prepared for us as a new community, as a new generation. We had to find our own way here, because it was the Indians for the Indians, the blacks for the blacks, the Christians for the Christians, the coloreds for the coloreds. And the only community that was badly, badly damaged here was the so-called Muslim community. And you're mostly are living in denial, because you wanted to get into a area where, like, you will now be in the white areas where the white, because you will wit gewees het. Okay, because of the rejection totally, the double shades. Okay, you wanted, because you were rejected, you were in need of being wanted. Okay, so you love white, you want to be married to a white girl, a white man, you want to take a photo with a white. It's all your infatuations wat julle deurgegaan, that really, it had really made you the most racist human beings on earth today. Okay, you're paying the price for it, people. You lost your land, you lost your identity, you lost your blueprint, and you lost your ancestors. Sy kan nie meerdere bankroet word as wat julle gehoord het. En dan maak julle nog die grootste shirk in die wêreld. Okay? The black cube, the White House and the reserve currency, the I-dollar. Okay, so it's not a good forecast for those who had misled the last generation into shirk. Okay, you have to the new generation, the soul tribes. It's a soul tribes age now. It's a season change. It's a new series that is coming in. Okay, it is completely the opposite of what you ever believed of prophets, of what you ever believed of Adam, of the Big Bang, of the peninsula, of the flat earth, of the global world. It's a new psychology that Allah has given. Yani when Zakaria, كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا. Okay, your entire Quran is now being shifted in frequency to be understood in a cosmological conscious format, not in a literal historical form. Okay, that is because Muhammad came. The past psychology, the past frequency was removed. Yamhullahu, and there is now a extension of a new frequency of attracting a new database that is upgrading our intelligence. That's what's happening to the new age, to the new tribes, okay, to the new soul tribes, because we survived the ambush, people. Most of us didn't. They can't speak the language. They're not subscribed to the frequency. That is the Ismail. That is when Allah Ta'ala says, Ibrahim, when the Abrahamic execution takes place. Okay, you call it Abraham Lincoln. We call it the migrational patterns in the cosmic universe. Okay, where everybody loses each other now because each one has to go back to their natural incarnations. Okay, the natural place of the natural place of emerge. Okay, so when Allah says to Ibrahim, when you hear the ayah of Ibrahim speaking to Ismail that he must now sacrifice him, it's not a father and a son. It's been hijacked. Your content, your interpretation, it is how the old frequency, your old mindset of what you believed is God, who you believed is a prophet, who you believe, that is all being composed in your and in the new narration, because you're going into a quantum field. You're going into a quantum universe here. You're speeding up. That's why they encourage you to go into a faster lane in the digital platforms, because we're going into a faster mode of operandi. Okay, but you have to be ahead here because you're supposed to be a believer. Okay, that's why you are called a Muslim, because you submit to the frequency of the new currency that is coming into the universe, into our space, into our earth. Okay, so the stories that you are currently holding will be the cause of you being accused of shirk. Okay, you believe in a man. Okay, what's the difference between you and Jesus, you and the Christians, you and the Jews? You're all busy with a man, a physical man that died. That was fabricated in the new conscious that the new age children are now having to tap into a psychology, into a intelligent source, and we're finding it is the opposite of what our fathers believe. Now that's a catastrophe in this situation. Okay, but luckily, because we have a very deep-rooted and spiritual tribe in this land, not where our specific fathers comes from, India or Malaysia. That was all lies, people. Most of that came in extras to dilute the actual mother of the city, the mother of this country. That is where we lost. That's why, ons het liewes gekyk, ons pa het styl hare en ons ma het kruishare. Okay? That was the dilemma that existed in this context with the colonialist and the imperialist and the whatever you want to call it. You must understand that when you're conscious, you don't forget, but you must remain pure. If you remain pure, you don't get diluted and you don't lose memory. You don't lose where you come from. You don't lose why you're here. You don't lose your itinerary. That is what you stay, you stick onto that. That's important. That I say to my children today, because we know, most of us, where we are currently residing, what we are feeding our children, what we are entertaining our wives with. We know the truth. You don't have to lie. We know who lives with shaitan. Okay. You don't have to say it. Okay. But you know the situation. The puzzle is already clear. The wealth transfers has already been happening, and shaitan took the biggest cut out of this age. Yeah. Okay. You all know that. We all know that. Shaitan proved Allah wrong when he said that I would, that I will not submit myself to Adam, because Adam has lost himself. So he proved to Allah that the people of Lut, which is most of us, we are in that timeline conscious. We've lost our identities, our sovereignties, our real understanding of divinity, our real understanding of purpose, our understanding of what is meant by Jinnah, Jannah, Jahannam. No parent can tell us this on the face of this earth anymore. Yani. You claim to be better than the Christians. You claim to be better than the Yahud. You want to be out there fighting a war that don't exist except in your minds, because you have been rejected. You are mardud, you are marfu by the heavens, people, because you forfeited your blueprint. You can't help the South African government. I mean, these governments are all part of the scam. Okay? You got to find your purpose here. That was the purpose. That was the blueprint that you had to attain. But unfortunately, Allah gives. I cannot judge. I will never know who you are. It's not my business to know. I have to take charge. Each one has to take charge of his own home, his own children, and make sure he tells them, julle is nou in die Jahannam, julle is nou die, julle is nou daar. Moenie wegstiek van hulle nie, man. The last generation was destroyed because they didn't want to tell their children what the truth was. Hulle het maar vir hulle gehou op het. Ons ouers het vir ons gebroes, hulle het vir ons gebliksem. Ons wit. But die generation wat nou kom, hulle is te bang om hulle kinders nie op die hand te slat of om 'n verkeerde woord, because dan gaan die hele dunia verkeerd wees. Nou die kind het gehoord die master, en die maai en die pa het gehoord die slaaf. Okay? We are the cause for this, people. And now you cannot speak the truth. You are finding fabricated Allahs, fabricated gods, fabricated prophets. Die wat julle geglo het, het weekie meer since COVID. Glo julle my, julle weet, we are mostly in an illusion to believe that thing still exists. Your Quran has been upgraded for those who has migrated as the Abrahamic frequency had come to fetch her children. Noah's Ark, the polarity that has come, and now we are actually given the insight. Okay, it's in Surah At-Tawbah. We are given the understanding of the Malakut, how we were compromised in a period, okay? Because you are just innocent, you are sincere, but you are not liberated, okay? You have to find the liberation by yourself, unfortunately. And you cannot blame anybody here, because you have reached a stage in evolution. By the time you're 50 years old, waar gaan jy jou ticketboek? Waar gaan jy jou ticketboek? Van toe gaan jy? Wat kan jy for yourself see at this stage in your life? You must have surety. Your God that you're going to must at least have some credentials in your lives. Not you be gamblers like what you taught your children to be gamblers, like what you find yourselves to be currently in. Okay? Innamal khamru wal maisir. It's people who are intoxicated. It's not wine, people. Your understanding of the interpretation of the Quran was dubbed. Okay, you have a secular Quran that you are working with because your adversary has given you your first false identity. That was the fitna. Okay, so when you fall asleep in the bioscope, dan gaan sy begin te droom van 'n film wat sy gesien het daar. Nou meeste van julle lewe in daai. Unfortunately, most of us are in that dimension, and we trapped there, guys. We trapped in that illusion. And when the referee die whistle geblaas het, man, die game is klaar. Toe sê ons nou, hoe kan dit klaar wees? Ons het dan nog nie gespeel nie. Maar you were played. You were played. Okay? Now that is why you cannot understand what Donald Trump and what the Americans are busy doing, what the South African government. You have been caught in their webs in the Sabbath, and now they are giving you your rates, and now they are retrieving your stock and your exchanging you for a certain code. Okay, your consciousness, you sold your conscious, you sold your ruh, you sold your ruh, people. You know it. You all know who is living with the devils. Okay. Don't look at religion as innocent, neutral forces. They are the most vigilant forces in this biological warfare. Okay, it's only conscious. We are running this planet on conscious, but you are just a civilization that has flawed your own selves and self-destroyed. Okay. You just can't come to terms with it because it's like the truth is not for your planet. You must entertain yourself with lies and deception and make believe and cosmic cosmic touch-ups. But die waarheid is poison for your civilization. That's loot. We are mostly the people of loot that is in self-denial, right? We marry a woman, but we treat her as a man. Okay, we marry a woman, but she treats us as a woman. So that is where your singularity has come in. For most of your marriages that you are living off, it's based off lies. Okay, it's fluctuation. Die man sit een kant, die vrou sit een kant, en hulle is besig met it's a lot of things that is happening on this social world. Okay, so the lies is intensified so internally that 'n man is getroud met 'n vrou, but is getroud met homself at dieselfde tyd. That is why you're seeing this homosexuality and lesbianism. It's in us. You don't understand this planet. You don't understand psychology. You don't understand the God mind. You don't understand. It's you that you're seeing because of how stagnated, how low you treated that woman, how you made that woman into a coupon. Okay? So, we materialized that external side, and now we are married to that physicality. That's why we see homosexuality. It's in us. Komelut is how we become physically attracted to something which is never going to be us, but it's going to be our adversary. Okay, so you're stuck in that najasa of a reality. And not even ghusl or wudu, it is najas. It is najas. Innamal mushrikuna najasun. Okay? So, the quick, I don't know how to explain this to you, your civilization, but it's very, nobody wants to tell you the truth because all of us are in this najis situation and we are stalled in it and we are just making as if everything is good, but everything is busy crumbling. It's collapsing. We lied. We must be honest to ourselves. These politicians, these religion agents, these other foreign governments that wants to be more privileged than the other nations in terms of God, giving them benefit over the rest and having them milk the cattle and the sheep. You have to come out of that. You've got to save your grandchildren from that. But do you really care where you end up? That is the question. I cannot give you a judgment, but I know the Quran says, I will, convincingly, Shaitan tells Allah, I will convincingly take most of them down. You all have the answers inside of you. Your children has seen you write the exams, copy, paste it, and how you flunk. Your children has to report to Allah because they cannot lie to Allah. They can lie to you because you lie to yourself, but they cannot be dishonest to Allah. When they honest to Allah, Allah is honest to them. Okay? يعني فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. Okay? يوم يفر المرء من أخيه. The day came in your lives that your children migrated from you. Okay? يعني your sisters, your brothers, your parents, عمل أسوبلا أي بيت. Everyone is on their own frequency. Okay? Elkeen het ingekom op hulle different callings, and everybody leaves. And we're never gonna meet each other in the next world, people, unless we come back to Jahannam. Okay? So because you have been aligned to a satanic way of beliefs and you failed and flunked this trial, you must read your books. The books speaks the truth. Okay? We don't teach people because Allah must teach you. Allah must guide you. You cannot, there's nobody that can lead you. You are all the same. We are all on the same line. There's nobody that can be forward, and we're all the same. We're all made of the same. But the moment they step in front, that's where they milk you, and that's how they disguise the system, and that's how they fraudulate gods, okay, and prophets. Nobody saw any prophet. No one saw a prophet. No one saw a God. Okay, you are just using a copy paste, but you had to establish it by yourself. Now, many of our parents, we as children can actually pinpoint how they doubt in Allah, how they have their reservations in Yawmul Qiyamah, in Akhirah, because they didn't find it. They were not prepared. They were 50, 60 years old when the call came for them to stand to Khansat Allah. So it's a report that is very, it's very much against your civilization. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it, but more importantly, like we as a soul tribe, we must we ensure that our next generation cannot be entering into the shirk that most of us are living in. We have to ask for permission to leave. أخرجوا آل لوط إنهم قوم يتطهرون. It didn't happen in the Middle East. It didn't happen in the night. It happened in your time when you wake up in conscious. Then you realize how deeply you have been sucked into the illusion. Okay? And don't look at the world as if they gave you recognition. No, people. No, that's a false narrative completely. That's the Jahannam in full operation, because that's where people live the way what you see. The network and the media keeps you all the time in that frame of mind and in that frequency. Okay? So that's the lowest frequency, that because you only live in what your daughter feeds you, okay, what your mode of operandi is giving that system to, okay. So you had to upgrade yourself. You had to change your operational systems, clean up and augmentate and fragment. These were all necessary so that you can continue the journey. And also the generations coming through you now, they found an exit. Now, most of you have no exit at the moment. Julle hoop maar net, o Here, God, ek het gehadj. Allah, the biggest shirk today, people in the world, if you look at it generally, people paying hundreds and thousands for salvation, but niemand kom home forgiven. I can prove it to you. Okay. They don't want to. They just want to go back there because it's become an addictive programming. Because they cannot come in. They have to find their gods on the outside. Okay. It was only a trial. Earth is a trial, an evolution of how you go through the process of conscientizing. Not becoming a choir or a title, all this nonsense that you have fallen prey to. It was to be yourselves. Everybody's equal. Everybody's intelligent as the next. But once you think, and one is more cleverer, one is more beautifuler, one is more richer, that's where most of you are residing, and that's why you need the religion, because that's going to give you justification to live as a licensed mushrik, acting as a Muslim, Christian, or Jew, whatever the case. Okay. People, the theater is already, the game is over, the stage is over already. They're already piercing things into you. They're giving you false digital money, crypto money. But we say, nie een van julle ma's of pa's wil sê, wat kan ons doen nie? Hulle is almal stoepstil. Hoekom? Because hulle glo in 'n valse god. Dit is wat gebeur het met Ibrahim en sy pa. Okay. Your stories are you. You are the people that have been destroyed in the Quran, but you deny it because you are kafir. Okay, we are kafir. We are denial. Kafir means to deny something. And your children now today had to take you to the ICJ. I see Jesus. Okay, it's 1 to 10, 1, 3, 10. That is the actual symbology of it. It was just you bringing back national law into the post-COVID world, where you now give legitimacy to that bar system. Okay, it's all just a fictional reality that you fall in love. You think the money you spend on it. You think it's all the illusions that you were taking in, and now today your children has actually decoded the system. Numerologically, physiologically, psychologically, academically, call it whatever you want to. And most important, we understand this book. We understand. We don't believe the way you believe. We don't believe that you had matured psychologically, physiologically, intellectually. You have not matured. You were supposed to mature. You couldn't. You went and fell in love with the dunya, with the jahannam, with that, and you couldn't keep your eyes on the road, man. So you had to take and teach your children. But they were not teached people. Allah is the most kindest. They found their path, but they cannot help their own parents now. They cannot help their own mothers and fathers now. They cannot help their own children now. Each one has to help himself. هذا يوم هذا وعد فاعتبروا يا أولي الأبصار. Okay. The day when the scriptures would turn from night into day. That is the ayah. Okay. And all your past ways of believing in philosophy, in Shakespeare's, in the ancient civilizations, and in this and that, it would all be exposed for the lies it is. And it will be abrogated. And a new formula and operational system in psychology, in reason, in rationale, and in reason will be flourishing to the new people, to the new children, to the new souls. They will be revived. Okay, they will be given the fresh logic of how Earth and this trial and this evolution is. But because we are in a new cycle, they will understand who they are. People. They will understand what knowledge, self-knowledge is. They will understand what self-revelation is. They will understand what Jannah and Jahannam, not what your parents, not what you believe today. Your beliefs are out of fashion, man. It's completely out of fashion. You have to feel this thing. You have to know that it's a frequency, because we don't come here in physical. We come here in conscious. We are remotely programmed. We all run off from an AI and universal system. Just you have to escape that to find your blueprint. Now your ancestors taught us this. We come from that. We are very well balanced in that world. We have a good standing in where we come from, because we are respected there. Not because we are coming from a illusional paradigm. We come from good roots. We come from good seeds. Our mothers are very, very good people. Our great grandmothers, these are very pure souls of the city, of the city, a city. Okay, Most of you have been your diaphragms, your organic cycles, your organic rhythms, your organic sounds, your brain waves, all of that has been it's been jammed, guys. You've lost your organic. You don't have keys to get to the next stage at this moment as you're standing. Okay, so you had foreign influences, other cultures, other ways of doing things. So now that you have to come back to where you came from, die rekord is gestak. Jy kan nie terugkom daarin nie en jy kan nie apply vir 'n visa nie because hulle ken nie meer vir jou nie. That's what the situation is. Okay. You're finding gods in other cultures, people. You must wake up. God is not in a culture, he's in a metaphysical form, he's inside, in conscious. God is in conscious. Whatever you have ever experienced of Allah is not in a country, it's not in a masjid, it's inside of you, people. That's where you're always going to be. That's what conscious means in world. But you became so infatuated with the physical man and these people that is telling you who God is. They themselves don't know themselves. How are they going to tell you who God is? Okay? So your children call the game off because you lost the plot. You lost your way out here. We couldn't blame them. We couldn't blame them. They're all the right because you lost your purpose. You lost your ID. You went and took a different way of looking at life. And now you stuck and your children cannot even visit you in Jahannam. And you cannot even visit them in Jannah. That's unconscious that is happening now because you are only living in conscious states or in unconscious states. Okay, it's not a United States. It is a genuinely separate conscious world, a night and a day. Okay, so you and I are currently getting into the day, and then all your past, you will now come to see what had happened and unfolded in the night whilst you and I were residing in that unconscious world. Okay, the Quran is now revealing the truth, the gems, the understanding, and it will resonate with you because you don't have to prove it to anybody. It's your journey, man. You don't have to sell it as a commodity because you haven't come here to trade gods. Okay, it's now Maghrib again. Allah Ta'ala accept and salams to all the beautiful, beautiful people of the world. And may Allah Ta'ala grant us liberation, freedom, people. We want to be free. We don't want to be with these people that has given us gods as faults. May Allah accept your buka and see you this evening for the Hadat, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى